All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? We are witnessing the result of some poor life choices on my part. So I want to thank everybody for your patience hanging out. We're going to say that it is 5 p.m. West Coast time. We are also going to say that it is 2 p.m. Hawaii time. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk here on Chatter with Statter this Easter Sunday. I am Mad Statter. You guys are the Statterbox crew, and it looks like we have got YouTube and Twitch coming in full throttle, which is fantastic because let me tell you today, I had every intention of focusing on tax work that needed to be done, but alas, logged into my studio and found out things were all cattywampus. We'll get into that and we're going to say hello to everybody, but first, we're going to get the party started, then we're going to start the music, and then the real hellos will begin. All right, here we go. Back again. So we have got Elaine on the YouTube side. We have got Marmac. We have got Rick here asking Elaine whether or not she can see both of the everythings on the Twitches, the Twitch chat on the YouTube on the Twitch. From where I can see, in theory, all of the chats should be chatting with each other. But it is always good to have confirmation by those who are actually on the channel because alas, I am not on either channel at the moment. I am just on my little studio situation, trying to keep my kitty from doing, you know, whatever it is that she does. And so let me scroll back up here. We've got Rick in the house. We've got Darlene in the house. We have Elaine in the house. Marmac, excellent day. And Kenny from the Cove, happy Easter. And let's see here. All right, so far, so good. And yes, indeedy, Ashes and her tail are waving hello to everyone. Ashes, as usual, in arm's reach, but just outside of focus. And yeah, in my own little world, oh, hold on. Speaking of own little world. Oh, wait, we've got the background music going. Oh, fantastic. Yes, in my own little world for certain, but I'm thinking that I got everybody to say hello to everybody. Speaking of hello, hey, Andy Bumatai, aloha to you on the YouTube side. Excellente. So, yeah, Ashes is in the house, Marmac, saying hello to my little kitty there. And you guys, so, I had a great time last night at Statterbox at the cinema. I hope that all of y'all who were able to join us enjoyed yourself as well. We watched Rise of the Guardians, which is a movie about the guardians of childhood belief. Those guardians, of course, would be the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, the Sandman, let's see here, Santa Claus, and Jack Frost was the newest guardian, and how he got to be one of the guardians is exactly what that movie was about. Of course, all of those forces band together to fight the evil boogeyman away. And even though I am not a child, nor do I have children, I really enjoy that movie. And I hope you guys did too. Because, Marmac, good movie choice. Thank you so much. But one of the reasons why I hoped it was a good movie choice was because, you know, it did take place over Easter weekend. So, now, I have no Easter eggs per se, although I do think my teeth are colored. I think I went and colored my teethuses today with my lip gloss again. So no colored Easter eggs, just colored Easter teeth for me. And I am curious, though, what you guys did for your Easter, if anything. I worked on tax extensions, so that wasn't fun, but I'm hoping that somebody maybe ate some chocolate, found an egg, hosted an Easter egg hunt for their kids, or something or other to make this holiday festivities full of festivities. Kenny from the Cove, you're not a child, but can be childish at times. Oh, absolutely. I think we all can, frankly, and childish, maybe not the best the best way to always be, but childlike at times. I think very important spirit to keep in your heart. In fact, I think what's wrong with some people, like a lot of people, is they literally forgot how to be a kid. Or not how to be a kid, but like what it was like to be a kid, you know? And I remember as a kid even noticing, like, these adults don't remember what it's like, but I kind of do. So maybe once you have kids, you have to like lose that because you're taking care of them or something. I don't know. But let's see here, Darlene, your tummy is full of Polish sausage, yum, eggs, yum, ham, yum, Easter colored eggs, yum, baked cheese and potatoes, yum, raspberry Danish for a brunch at daughter's house, food coma. How are you here? I actually, thanks to you, Darlene and Rick, yesterday, didn't quite get to food coma levels, but between the submarine sandwich that I got from Jersey Mike's Subs and the Girl Scout cookies that Darlene and Rick sent in the mail, I went to bed. Literally, I think the last thought in my mind before I went to sleep last night was, I was very well fed today. I mean, it was a good food day yesterday. Today I've only had some fried rice that I made from leftover rice, and I screwed it up. So, I don't know if today's going to be as good of a food day as yesterday was. How do you screw up fried rice? Actually, there's plenty ways to screw up fried rice. In fact, the internet is full of videos on that. And had I not been doing tax work, it might have occurred to me to grab a couple of those videos off the interwebs to show you guys so we could all laugh about them. But alas, I didn't. In fact, I really didn't do anything for today's show, which means we are going to be scattered. And who flippin' knows where we're gonna end up and what is gonna end up mattering. All right, so Darlene, being a grandparent is so cool because you get to be a child again with playing with them. Yeah, exactly. And you get to be the instigator of all their poor decisions. You know, it's like, sure, you can have another cookie. And Kenny from the Cove, snack chat maybe. Well, you know it will eventually mosey in that direction. I mean, it is. Let's see what sparks it. You know that's where we're gonna inevitably end up. I relinquish control over where it ends up. We were definitely definitely in Statterbox is in control territory. And Kenny, you attended the Easter egg hunt for your sister's Boston. You attended the Easter egg hunt for your sister's Boston Terrier today, and you made a metric ton of awesome food while you were there. You have food touching your brain so full. That is so funny. Tell me more about this Easter egg hunt for a dog. That is interesting. And let's see here, Marmac, texting by phone, lethal today. I'm not sure what you just did, but it looks like what did just happen is Terry in Scotland coming in with a raid. 3 people raiding on in. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Katie Zora. Good to see you, Carl in Arkansas. Good to see you, Terry. And that is fantastic. But hey, Terry, did you cut your stream short today? Because if I remember correctly, you are streaming a Ken Burns documentary, which, you guys, if you're into Ken Burns documentaries, go hang out on Terry's channel, Terry in Scotland. Gina, good to see you. I have been not hanging out there very vocally, but for the last few weeks, I've been lurking, and he's been running so many Ken Burns documentaries from the country music series, the Civil War series, the Vietnam series, and now I think he's on the jazz series. And I remember watching the jazz series on PBS Online, one of my favorites. So if you guys at all are interested into just you know, you don't even really have to watch the situation. Like I said, I'm at work just listening, and the way Ken Burns documentaries are set up, you really, it's as much an audio as it is a video input. Obviously, sometimes you want to see what they're talking about, but for the most part, you know, just having your ear tuned in, you absolutely can learn some things and stuff. And it never hurts to learn things and stuff. And, oh, okay, gotcha, Terry. You played a double feature last night. Cut it to one tonight because the crowd was kind of thin. Yeah, you know, honestly, Terry, had I not been on my own tax nightmare and then my own series of poor decisions, I would have been there today. But alas, not quite. And I'm kind of surprised that everybody is here today because it is a holiday. On the other hand, for much of the country, the day has wound down, the festivities are over, and it is time to sit back, have your food coma, have your food touching your brain, etc., etc. And now, let's see here. Kenny is telling me, and us, and you guys probably already read it, but I didn't. Your sister puts dog treats in a plastic egg, then Mala has to find the egg and get the treat out without help. Oh, what a great little enrichment exercise that actually I'm sure the dog would just be like, you know, we can do this every day. We don't have to wait for Easter. We can do this every day. That's a really great idea. I saw an idea on the interwebs today, and let's see here. Gina, blood relations are out of town or at work, not celebrating Easter. Yeah, you know, I actually never celebrate Easter. As a kid, my family was very secular, like no church at all. But Easter is, okay, so last night in the video, Rise of the Guardians, there's a little bit of a rivalry going on between the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus over whose holiday is bigger. Now, I think that Santa gets to win that argument just because of the absolute monumental time frame that Christmas has expanded upon to. Like from September until mid-January is somehow the Christmas season. But from a religious perspective, dude, Easter is way bigger of a deal than Christmas is. At least that was my perception as a secular person who was surrounded by a bunch of families that held religious beliefs, not necessarily, well, some of them more ardently than others. But when it came to Easter, even the most casual observers of whatever flavor of Christianity it was, dude, you go to church on Easter. You just do. You do. And so Easter Sunday, like, was kind of boring for me because it's like, all my friends are busy doing church stuff. And you know, once you get to be old enough that you're not actively involved in some sort of Easter egg hunt, it's just like, meh, it's just another day, right? And Carl in Arkansas, good to see you. You like Halloween too, you get to eat all of Carly's candy. Exactly. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, you had some Oreos, dark chocolate cookies, and a banana. A most excellent banana. Actually, you know, Terry, a banana with like an Oreo? That sounds kind of like a good flavor combo. Because, you know, chocolate banana is super good. And I don't know how I would pair them, but I feel as though it would somehow make a good pair. And let's see here. Rick, your dogs would have just chomped that plastic egg. Honestly, I was kind of wondering that too. But then I remembered they actually make dog toys that are for the purpose of putting a treat in and then the dog has to figure out how to get them out. So I'm going to assume that it was made of whatever indestructible material that is. And let's see here. Kenny, you can see me in your Easter suit on Facebook in a salmon colored shirt. I actually did see that, Kenny. Very, very seasonally appropriate, I must say. And clearly the color du jour of well, I suppose the color of the season, right? And salmon, though, is an underrated color because it walks that fine line. It is a little bit of a pink, but it's not like so feminine because it does have a lot of that, you know, the peach orange tones. So it's like salmon is like the masculine pink. How about that? It's boy pink. There we go. That's what it is. Salmon is boy pink. I know that's incredibly sexist and stupid and reductionist, and like I don't really believe in gendered colors, but I just thought it sounded silly, so I had to say it. Rick, your dogs couldn't read, so indestructible is meaningless to them. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so, let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna come back. Oh, wait, hold on. Kenny, you refrained from showing your unimpressive glutes to the ladies. There you go. There you go. Well, you know, that is not becoming of an Easter Sunday frock. Although you weren't in a frock. What? Your Easter Sunday's finest shall not be sullied by such uncomely behaviors, sir. What did I just say? And Terry, you love Cadbury's eggs. They consist of a chocolate shell, white stuff, and a yellow yolk. How they get that yolk in the middle is a mystery. For certain. But you know what, Terry, those eggs are pretty good. But the ones that I love, that, honestly, like, I resent Easter coming every year for this reason alone. Cadbury mini eggs. Not the Cadbury's eggs that Terry's talking about. The ones I'm talking about they're little. They're sort of like they're bigger than M&Ms. They're maybe the size of peanut M&Ms. And they're solid milk chocolate. And they've got the little sugar crust that looks like an eggshell. And they're all pastel colors like Easter eggs. And they're basically just little crunchy nuggets of beautiful, beautiful Cadbury chocolate. Yeah, those are my Achilles heel. And basically during the Easter season, I kind of like can't go to the grocery store because I will buy a bag. I will probably buy the biggest bag. I will probably eat most of the biggest bag before I get home from the grocery store. I will then be sick. I will then continue eating the bag because, oh my goodness. And then, you guys, you know what they did then? After I resigned myself to my once a year weakness, which is the Easter mini eggs, fine. Do you know what Cadbury did? They changed the Easter shape to just balls, and they covered them with green and red, and then they remarketed them for Christmas. So now twice a year, they're in my face. If I planned it right, I could stock up and probably have them all year round. But I don't. Because if I planned it right and stocked up to have them all year round, they'd still just last me a week. So, that is my soapbox rant about Cadbury and their delicious, delicious, delicious eggs. But Lindt... Yeah, Lindt's pretty good too. Yeah, Lindt's pretty good too. I know, Carl. Exactly. It's like, how dare they put out a quality product more than just once a year? One that I actually want to purchase? Come on. Yeah. And Kenny from the Cove, Cadbury eggs in any size are at any time are the chocolate equivalent of heroin. Absolutely. And you know, but you can, that's actually a really good point, because you can OD on them. Now, even after you OD, you still want more, but you can OD on them. And I found that out. Okay, so the eggs that Terry was talking about, the bigger ones that have the white goo and then the yellow goo. Okay, so those ones, they also have those that are filled with caramel. So they're, instead of the goo, it's filled with caramel. I just have to pretend like those don't exist, because I would mainline those into my gullet. I don't know how you mainline something into your gut. I would, you know how they feed the ducks for foie gras, you know, with they force feed the grains to fatten up the liver. That's what they do, actually. Yeah, that's what I would do with the chocolate caramel eggs. And see, Gina, okay, for some reason, I always thought that I would love the chocolate-filled ones the best. I like those the least for some reason, which is great, because you can have them all. We won't fight over that. But the chocolate ones, yeah. The chocolate ones, everyone has their poison of Cadbury egg. Mine, in the big one, is the caramel, and then, of course, the little one is... So the big one, that's my chocolate heroin, but the little eggs, that's my chocolate crack. Right? Carl, stop, or you're gonna have to go to Walmart. Yeah, and you know what, dude? They're gonna be on sale, too. If they're still around, they're gonna be on sale. And that is actually the one good thing about Cadbury eggs that I am thankful for. Everybody seems to feel the same way about them as I do, and so they're very rarely on discount. They're very rarely on clearance, because they're usually already sold out before the end of the holiday. And so, because dog help me, if I walked into the grocery store and saw a 50% off bin of those Cadbury mini eggs, well, first off, I'd dive headfirst into that bin, and then I'd claim it as my own. I would have homesteader rights at that point, and I would make improvements so they couldn't kick me off of the plot of land. Now, the improvements I would be making would be emptying out the bin of chocolate into my mouth. But yeah, that's what would happen for the most part. I mean, it's written in the cards. And let's see, Darlene, you found something new you bought for the grandkids instead of the regular Peeps, gummy Peeps. They love them, but you did get some chocolate too. Excellent, excellent. You know, I've never been a fan of the Peeps. I know that people love them, but, you know, you're not going to have to fight me over them at all. Now, I will admit, if Peep and Cadbury came out with something, I would try it. I would try it. I would try it. And Darlene, they're kids. They like any kind of candy, but they don't get candy on a daily basis, so they love Easter and Christmas time. Totally. Totally. Marmac, thank goodness you have chocolate at home and you're not there. Oh, that's funny. Terry in Scotland. Mars bars are still the king in Scotland. Never ask a woman for intimacy after eating a Mars bar. No man can compete with that. That is hysterical. And yeah, Gina, exactly. The Peeps are just not my thing. But hey, Terry, I don't think that your Mars bar is the same as our Mars bar. I want to say, and I very much expect to be wrong. So you guys have the haha emotes at the ready. Have them ready. Just hover your mouse over the haha emote. But Terry, I think that what you call, oh, so they are different. Yes, I think what you guys call Mars bars, we call Milky Way. I think. But I am going to defer that to you, because you have been and lived in both America and Scotland. So there you go. Thank you. Preemptive ha-has never hurt. That is right, Rick. Preemptive ha-has. And, oh no, Gina, you don't have access to the ha-ha emote? Oh no. Well, I don't know, I don't know how to fix that right now. So we'll get that fixed eventually, but yeah. And so let's see here. Terry in Scotland, yeah, and Milky Ways are a pitiful pretender. Yeah, so they're not, so they are a little bit different than our Milky Ways too, but the Milky Way is the closest equivalent, is sort of what I'm picking up. I think that's what you're laying down. That's what I'm picking up, I think. I will say, you know, I've heard that Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne are, thinking about, or maybe they already have, thinking about moving from Los Angeles back to London. Or actually not London. Somewhere in England. I have no idea where. I don't know why I assumed London. Thank you so much, Rick, for fixing the whole no ha emote. Now, Gina, you should be all hooked up. Excellent. Thank you so much. But I know that, I don't know if they've moved over back to the UK yet, but I know that recently they were talking about it just because things in America are getting kind of weird for them. And so by their standards. So just so we're clear here. All right, just so we're all on the same page. Ozzy Osbourne thinks that things in the United States are getting a little too weird for him, so he's going to go back home. The Prince of Darkness. The one who bit off the head of Bat. On accident, I know, but still he did it. It's getting a little too weird in the US, so he's gonna go find a less strange place to live back in the UK. It's the scuttlebutt that I've been hearing in the last, 6 months or so. My point of this is, Ozzy has always been open about how superior chocolate in the UK is to the United States. And I have always wondered, because in my opinion, I would like to live in the UK purely for reasons of chocolate. And so what I don't understand is how the chocolate didn't lure him back sooner. Because Cadbury's here is different than Cadbury's in the UK. We don't get nearly the selection that they get in the UK. And Cadbury's, even USA Cadbury's, is superior to our American style chocolate. But the Cadbury in England is even more superior to the superior version we got here. And they've got more of them. So yeah, exactly, Carl. The dude that peed at the Alamo. Right. So just, to frame this properly, Ozzy Osbourne thinks the USA is getting a little too weird. And I know, Darlene, I know, it's, and as much as it's like a haha, it's a funny joke, the not funny part of that joke is, it's like, yeah, I think he's got a point, it's like he does, it's like, kind of is onto something there now, isn't he? And, yeah, exactly, but compared to other places, it totally could be worse, absolutely, absolutely. But he holds 2 passports, so he gets to go where he wants. And let's see here. Okay, so, hold on, wait. All right, so Darlene is asking, okay, all right, for a second there, I thought we were having an emergency. Darlene was like, Terry, do you like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Reese's Pieces? I could be wrong. Terry's like, who doesn't? Because I said at first I thought somebody didn't like the peanut butter cups. Or the pieces, as it were. And okay, so I guess this will be our first snack topic. Well, I guess we're already trending towards the chocolates anyway, but Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Obviously, everybody loves them. Let me rephrase that. Everybody who can love them loves them. Now, we probably should have a moment of silence for all those with peanut allergies who will never know the joy of the Reese's, so There we go. That was our moment of silence. All right. So, but other than the people who, you know, will find them deadly, who the hell doesn't like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? And my favorite ones are the ones that are individually wrapped in the foil. Because to me, those ones have the best chocolate peanut butter ratio. And also, for some reason, I feel like they're fresher, or I feel like the peanut butter in them stays fresher or something. And so I like those ones. And Gina, I don't know if they're called the minis or not, because I've seen ones that are even tiny mini or minier. But you're right, these might be the mini cups. Not the tiny minis, but like, you know, the size of a quarter and then tall. Not the size of like your pinky tip. But those ones are the best. And then the next best ones up is the, not the 2-pack, but the big cup. It's like you sort of put two of them together to make one big one. And that one I think is also good because it also, I think, has the same, it's bigger, but it's got the same chocolate to peanut butter ratio as the foil wrapped ones. And so that, those are my opinions on the superiorness of the peanut butter cups. I'm curious if someone would like to argue in favor of something different, because those two thin cups, there is a joy. There's a certain joy with that. I'll give you that. And Darlene, you make a deep chocolate cookie recipe with peanut butter morsels. Delicious. That does sound good. And why don't we see more cookies like that? I mean, I must have seen a cookie that was made like that. I've seen chocolate cookies. I've seen peanut butter morsels in the store. But I don't know if I've ever seen a cookie with that. And it's such a logical cookie combo. Yet I'm not so sure I've ever seen it, tried it, had it. I might need to fix that. And Gina, oh, you're talking my language. You might have to make a peanut butter cup comparison out of this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I am all about the comparisons. I'm all about the blind taste tests. I'm all about the not blind taste tests. I'm all about the everythings. And, yeah, I highly encourage you to do that. It's for science. Exactly. As Rick said, it's for science's sake. It's for science's sake. For sure. For sure. And Kenny, if you're keto, as I am, mostly, Atkins makes a very tasty peanut butter cup. Oh, excellent, excellent. That's good to know because, you know, sometimes even, now I've been told by a lot of people who are on keto that they actually don't end up craving sweets the way they used to. Once they cut out most of the carbs, all those cravings sort of just don't seem to overwhelm them like they used to. But I can only assume on occasion there's just this little nagging, I want something sweet. I want something sweet. I want something sweet. So, you know, it's good to know that Atkins and the ketos and the peanut butter cups might be able to come to a compromise. They came to the table, they listed their needs and demands, and they found a plan they could work with. I think that's good. I think that's good. All right, so Terry coming in with the list of the UK's top 10. Cadbury Dairy Milk, right there. It's just delicious. Lindt Lindor, all right. Galaxy. Maltesers. I don't know about that. The Kinder Egg, I assume, which are illegal in the U.S. Cadbury Twirl. I don't know what that is. Kit Kat, Cadbury Wispa, Ferrero Rocher, and M&M's. So we have a lot of those here. I don't know what Galaxy is. I have no idea what a Malteser is. Maltesers? Well, I don't know. We have a version of Kinder, but it's not a Kinder Egg, and it's not the same, and it's weird. You see, in the United States, the kids are going to eat the toy. Which is why the Kinder Egg is illegal here. But what's a Wispa? And what's a Cadbury Twirl? I love Cadbury Flake. I'll tell you right now, Cadbury Flake is one of my favorite chocolate bars. And as it turns out, Cadbury Flake was actually discovered and invented on accident by a malfunctioning piece of chocolate stirring equipment, or chocolate transportation tubes, or whatever. There was a slight leak in one of the little joints, and just this thin shaving, just this, like very thin layer of chocolate was escaping. And as it was escaping, it was cooling very rapidly into this weird, ruffly ribbon. And the person who discovered it, ate some of it, and the texture was unlike anything else. And they decided to actually make a candy bar using that technique that was actually a broken machine. And let's see here. Rick is saying the keto people lie because everybody is addicted to chocolate. There you go. And Kenny, not to be a shill for Atkins, but they make a F-ton of tasty, satisfying sweet snacks. And that doesn't even surprise me, actually, Kenny, because I think Atkins was one of the first, diet food, pre-made diet food plans out there. I remember Atkins in, the late 70s, early 80s. And so, that, and does anybody remember Alba? It's a low-calorie hot chocolate Alba mix, ALBA. I want to say it was 60 calories, because I want to say it was Alba 60 or something like that. This is in the era of those AIDS candies. And when I say AIDS candies, I mean AIDS. They were chocolate candies filled with appetite suppressants, probably speed. And they were candies meant to curb your appetite to keep you on a diet. Anyone? And Darlene, Malteser is a malt ball kind of thing. That I would assume so. I'm guessing that's what it is. And yeah, Terry Thornton's has been making chocolate for over 100 years. Good stuff. Never even heard of Thornton's. And yeah, exactly, Gina. Inspiration from the leaky machinery. It was a very tasty leak, and they decided to literally capitalize on them. And let's see here, and Darlene, and then of course there's the C's candies that Andre introduced us to. So delicious. Yeah, I have to tell you, I really wish that Andre hadn't reminded all of us, me in particular, of C's, because since that was brought up, I have gone back and tried a C's candy or two, and I have not had C's candy since I was a child. But that was the candy of our home. If you were ever going to have a special occasion, for Christmas or for whatever, and you got a good box of candy, for Valentine's Day and stuff, Mom would just be like, here's a Russell Stover 4-pack. But if it was a really big deal, the family from across the country is coming for, Thanksgiving dinner, and you want to have the good spread, you get the box of C's candies. The Whitman sampler just will not do. And oh my gosh, good gosh darn, golly gee williker, C's Candies is flipping good, dude. Seriously. I know that it's not all over the country. I know that not everyone has access to it. But if you ever run across a C's candy store, and they're fairly noticeable, they're really stark white. I mean, I think they want to make it seem like it's super clean. I mean, because and don't get me wrong, it is super clean, but like it is just this stark black and white candy shop with old-fashioned font and stuff, and go eat candy right now. And Carl in Arkansas, yeah, a 4-pack is just enough to make you mad. That is so funny. And Kenny from the Cove, how many folks in the chat have ever had the sweet, crunchy, peanut buttery candy Chico stick? I have, and to me, it's a little saltier version of the inside of a Butterfinger. I mean, is that what it's supposed to be? Or I guess actually my question is Butterfinger just a chocolate covered Chico stick? Because that's what it seems to me. The texture is a little bit different, but for the most part, that seems to be the equivalent candy, right? Or and okay, Terry, Galaxy is a Cadbury Dairy Milk rival. Preference is tribal, like Stones versus Beatles. Like, are they called Galaxy Milk Bars or something like that? I feel like maybe I've seen those wrappers. Well, I know this, if I ever run across a Galaxy bar, I might have to have a taste test, because I know where to get some dairy milk from Cadbury. So, seems like a taste test might be in order. And then Darlene, you're so sweet, the yummy chocolate-covered toffee candy that Mad Statter makes. Yeah, back in the day, my boss and I used to make hundreds of pounds of English butter toffee every year. We have since given up on that, but this past season, Christmas season, I did whip up a few batches. I kind of remembered how to do it, and so I'm thinking about, for those of you who might be interested in getting some toffee, I'm thinking I might make a couple other batches after tax season, but in order to make the batches good, I have to have the right weather. So I can't really plan when I'm gonna do it, but if you guys are interested in maybe sampling some homemade butter toffee that has almonds in it, it has almonds. If you're allergic to almonds, then sorry fam, cannot. It's almond butter toffee. It is what it is. But if you are interested in almond butter toffee, shoot me an email at madstatter@gmail.com. I am the only one who sees these emails. And let me know a good mailing address, your screen name, and then like who I should really mail it to. Because I'm guessing like Kenny from the Cove. Probably, although Kenny, actually, I think I have your real name somewhere, but I probably shouldn't put Kenny from the Cove, P.O. Box 1234, Texas, 98221 Texas, because Kenny from the Cove isn't his name. So if you are interested in maybe trying some toffee, like I said, shoot me an email with your name, a good mailing address, and your screen name, and maybe say, send me toffee, I like candy, or something like that, to let me know why the flying fork you're sending me this stuff. And I can probably send some your way. That being said, the window is closing, so like if Pussycat comes in and is just like, heck yeah, send this to Florida, what? It's just like, well, okay, 80 degrees in Florida, I'll try to make it work, but I can't promise it won't be goo by the time it gets to you. I mean, it'll re-solidify into a different shape of goo, but, so, there is that. But yeah, I would love to share it with those who can have it. However, I didn't want to just, say it, send it to everybody, because A, I don't know everybody's address, and B, if you're allergic to tree nuts, I don't want to send it to you at all. I don't want it in your house. If you have an allergy to tree nuts or almonds, that's poison. This is poison, and I don't want to send you poison. I really don't. And then also for those folks who are like, I'm keto and having sugar in the house would basically kill any progress. I don't want to send it to you then. I don't want to send it to you. And Gina, would it make it to Maryland? Oh, for sure. It'll make it there. It's just a case of how pretty it ends up being by the time it gets there. And toffee, like peanut brittle, like whatever, it doesn't like a lot of humidity. So like if your area is humid, like once you unwrap it and you eat some and you're just like, I'm going to save the rest for later. Or more appropriately, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to save this for later. Let's pretend. You're going to want to wrap it up real good and maybe put it in the freezer. And then after you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to say, I think I'd like a little more though. And so you're going to get up and you're going to go to the freezer and you're going to unwrap a little bit. And you're going to take a little piece and then you're going to wrap back up and you're going to put it in the freezer. Then you're going to go eat it. You're going to go sit down. Then you go, you know what? Maybe I'm going to have a little bit more though. And then you're going to do this until you're like, well, I guess I should just eat the final piece. Because that's what happens. So, let's see here. Oh, eMusic, so good to see you. So good to see you. Oh, Marmac, no need to worry about. You can get yours super quick overnight. There'll be no shipping problems for you. And actually, Terry in Scotland, there'll be no shipping problems for you either because you're all cold and stuff. So, and Gina, it'll make it there. It's really just a case of the two concerns that I have is the chocolate on the outside might get soft. And then, as a consequence, the nuts in the chocolate get squished in and it's ugly, or the moisture of that melted chocolate will make the toffee inside stickier than I want it to be. But it'll still taste good. It just won't be as crunchy. It'll be more like, it's kind of stuck to my tooth. And you generally don't want it to be, it's kind of stuck to my tooth. In fact, that's exactly what you don't want it to be. Still tastes good. It's just the texture isn't perfect at that point. So, Carl, exactly. Who cares what it looks like? Yeah, exactly. I mean, because basically what it is, if anybody has ever had almond Roca candy, in the pink tins with the gold wrappers or whatever, it's essentially that. Only it's like, well, yeah, here's me being all, it's better. It's better. It's homemade. It's not mass produced. It's better. But essentially, we're talking about the same kind of candy. It's toffee. It's coated in chocolate. It's got nuts around the chocolate. It's all good. And exactly, Kenny, it all looks the same in the end. It all looks the same in the end. So, let's see here. Kenny, if it's good when it gets to me, I'll get a spoon and start scraping my way to the culinary heaven. Your ketoness can take a hit once in a while. Right, yeah, there you go. Exactly. And actually, though, a benefit of this particular candy, I will admit, is it is kind of rich. And so there does come a point, okay, it doesn't always happen, but sometimes there comes a point where it's like, you know what? That was enough. I can, savor it and come back to that tomorrow. Because it's kind of a rich piece of chocolate. And let's see here. Terry asking Carl, ever had a Stuckey's pecan praline? Carl's like, I got some right now. Now, Terry, Carl, either of you can answer this question. The Stuckey's pecan praline, is that that's different than the Stuckey's roll, right? I feel like Stuckey's has some kind of roll that my friend from Tennessee was telling me about, but I feel like I'm getting things very confused. I want to say it's like a peanut roll, but it might be a praline roll, and it might be exactly what what you guys are even talking about. So, okay, so it's got, okay, the pecan is the roll, sort of. Okay, so that is what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever had one, but I do know that I've heard plenty of people talking about them for many years now. And there you go, Kenny. Way to justify it there for you. If it's got nuts, right? Nuts got protein. I need protein for my alleged muscles. There you go. That's right. It's got plant protein. Well, actually, butter's made from milk, right? Butter's got protein, right? It's got plant and animal proteins. It's a health food. All right. Maybe not. But it does only have 4 ingredients, so, it could be worse. But let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, Stuckey's was kind of the predecessor of Buc-ee's. I was actually wondering about that. I was wondering, because, they do sound alike and whatever, but Stuckey's I feel like is more of a Midwestern thing. I really don't know what I'm talking about here, but Stuckey's isn't from Texas the way Buc-ee's is from Texas, right? Yikes, I really don't know. Terry in Scotland, without peanut butter, you would lose the will to live. Let's see here. Without peanut butter, now I guess without peanut butter, you'd lose the will to live. What type of peanut butter do you have over in your area? Do you have the American, okay. I have a lot of questions. I guess the basis of the questions is peanut butter, do the brands of peanut butter in the UK, are they the same brands that we've got in the US? Is peanut butter in the UK considered a USA food? What is peanut butter like in the UK? Because sometimes in the UK, when they make USA food, it's like, that is not USA food. That is not what that is like in the United States. Why would you even say that is something from the United States? That was not something that we ever did. So I'm just curious. Do you get Jif? Do you get Skippy? Do you get a different version of Jif or Skippy? And let's see here. Darlene, better if made with grass-fed butter, top quality butter, just like grass-fed meats are supposed to be better, but pricey. Yeah, and I can tell you right now, it's not grass-fed butter. To my knowledge, at least. It's just regular butter. Salted butter. And, okay, Carl, Stuckey started in Georgia. Okay. Got it. And, let's see here. So, Kenny, every family road trip to your dad's hometown in North Texas included a stop at Stuckey's near Hillsboro. Got it. There you have it. Yeah, it is nice to have the little stop tradition. It's like, we're going to get the ice cream there. When I was a kid, we used to drive up to Canada a lot. And in the town that I lived in at the time, there was no Wendy's. There is now, but there wasn't then. But there was a Wendy's in this town right close to the border to Canada. And so we would always stop at Wendy's because it was exotic. We didn't have it in our town when we went to go to Canada to visit my mom's parents. And so, they have the Frosty. And so that was really, that was the exciting part of the travel trip, was getting to go to Wendy's and getting the Frosty after the burger. So it is, having a little, travel ritual as a child is always just a lovely thing. And yeah, Terry, we're waiting with bated breath about the peanut butter thing. That's okay. We do have another thing that we can do. And what we will do right now, maybe by the time it's over, we'll know about the peanut butter. What we'll do right now is we'll take a Lono listening break, because that's what she does.
makes me feel every day. Little bit of this, little bit of that. She's like a cat scratching up my back. She's got her claws in me now. Accidentally, incidentally, I don't know just how it happened. She's got a groove I respect so well. Don't ask me how it started. I was sitting there so broken hearted, looking for a trace of that smile she left on my face. That's what she does. 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 She can take a frown, turn it upside down and inside out. She can take a hurricane, make the day all nice again. Lives in reality, been there, done that, 1, 2, 3. She can please a man and a few women too. Free and single, likes to mingle with the best of the best. What's your position, mommy? Just a little lower now. That's what she does. 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 Wow. Recognize me now, yeah, that's me over there. Trying to get a glimpse of that girl, that girl, that. What am I supposed to do? Cause she's moving and a grooving, cooking up a recipe. Even Sam Choi would like puree, puree, gravy, gravy. She serves it up so well, yeah, my appetite is overwhelming. Give me some desserts, baby, make it hurt, and I'll be back for more of that kick and glide. Give me 2 more tens, we're gonna pick it up again. Number 3, you call it, just keep it smooth. That's what she does. 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 When the dance is over and she comes to me so freely with her arms open wide, she's taking me inside. Watch out, thinking that I had it easy. Then she says, oh please excuse me, who is that guy right behind of you? I was in shock, thinking, hey, what's up? I was tossing and turning, and my girlfriend woke me up. That's what she does. 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 That's what she does.
All right, there we have it. So, Kenny let me know that the natural peanut butters are probably keto, but the unnatural ones have all sorts of carbs in them. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, Whole Earth is only salted Spanish peanuts roasted and ground up. It even has some of the red peanut skins in it. It's the bomb, but they're a little too proud of it cost-wise. Okay, I am not so sure that that the peanut butter that's Earth, the whole Earth. All right, what am I trying to say? The whole Earth here in the U.S. I don't think that's the same peanut butter as the whole Earth that you're talking about, because salted Spanish peanuts, that's a different. Spanish peanuts are kind of different than regular peanuts, so I would be very interested to see what a peanut butter made of that would taste like. That is interesting. And hey, Thundering Lightning, good to see you here on the YouTube side. Excelente. Fantastic. Welcome to the Statterbox crew. And Darlene, so here is a pro tip, because Carl in Arkansas, the Philippine type peanut butters with the Spanish peanuts kind of actually makes sense. Next time I'm at Hong Kong Mark in the Filipino aisle, I'm gonna go check for that peanut butter. And but hey, so Darlene, you were saying that you don't like the peanut butters that have the oil that you have to mix. I totally understand that, but check this out. This is a pro tip that lots of people know about, but at the same time, a lot of people never thought of this. All right, so you've got your stupid oil separated stuff. And now, you open it up and you mix it. You do your everything to mix it the best you possibly can, right? Then you put the lid back on, and then you turn it over upside down. And then all the oil floats back to the top. Only this time the top is the bottom. And so then the oil floats to the bottom, which doesn't make sense. But then when you turn it over, it basically isn't oily anymore. Wow. That was remarkably difficult to try to explain, and I don't think I explained that very well at all. You guys know what I'm talking about. Store it with the lid on the cover. Alright then. That's my pro tip for the day. And then Rick, just stir it with a Hershey bar and then just eat the chocolate bar. You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. No, you got your peanut butter on my chocolate. You guys remember those Reese's commercials? And let's see here. Rick, stir. Oh wait, no, hold on. Kenny, what am I saying? Kenny, you're a framing hammer and some vegetable oil way of making your own peanut butter. You're just a framing hammer and some vegetable oil. You don't need, that's the whole thing though. You don't need extra oil. The peanuts have their own oil. The peanuts can create their own oil once you start crushing them. Marmac, exactly, bottoms up. It seeps up to the bottom. When you flip it, it redistributes, Kenny's saying. Terry in Scotland, I think you might be onto something. Einstein might have been the only one that was able to decipher that gobbledygook, because that was a chalkboard. That was a chalkboard full of of things that make no sense. And Darlene, so does it stay blended, or do you have to keep doing it? No, it pretty much stays blended. Once you, now I will admit, Darlene, that initial stir is a pain in the arse, because, the jar is already full, and, so you're probably going to want to do it over a washcloth or whatever, because, the oil is going to, there might be some oil spillage with the stirring action and the like, and it is that initial stir can be messy, but once you get the good stir on, then you just go, turn it upside down and store it that way, and then obviously when you need it, you turn it right side up and open it up. But yeah, that actually is how I do it. Now, I will admit, I only eat the chunky kind, and so I don't know, the chunky kind stays stirred up like that. I don't know if the creamy stuff would. I don't see why it would make a difference. I'm just putting it out there, like, my experience is only with the chunky stuff. So if you're a creamy person, your results may vary. I have not experimented with that, but I do know that somebody somewhere on the interwebs actually has a peanut butter lid with a stirrer in it. So you put the lid on and it's got the stir handle and the thing, and it stirs the peanut butter. Stirs peanut butter. There you go. And let's see here. In Terry in Scotland, chunky is the only way to go in your humble opinion. Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I was all about the creamy, but now as an adult, I cannot abide by the creamy. I have to have the chunky. I have to have it. And one thing I really like to do with my chunky peanut butter is I'll mix some chunky peanut butter in with a little bit of teriyaki sauce and create a little weird teriyaki peanut sauce, and take some green beans and get them all charred up on in the fry pan. I mean, I'm not frying them in oil, but like I'm cooking them, but getting them a little charred, and then coat them with the peanut buttery teriyaki sauce. So delicious. So delicious. And eMusic, do we have to make the sound you made to get it mixed up right when doing bottoms up on You know, eMusic, I don't know. It could be that the only reason why it works for me is because I do make that sound. You know, like I said, your results may vary, but I don't think you're going to need to make that sound. You know, but yeah, it's just one big experiment, I guess. But seriously, y'all, if the oil situation is the main reason why you're just like, I really don't like the natural peanut butters, I get that. But one life hack, real quick like a bunny, you know, it works. It actually does work. And so, you know, doesn't hurt to try. You can go buy one jar of it, do it that way, and then you can come back the next, you know, chatter statter and just be like, you were wrong. Everything you said was wrong. You were wrong. The peanut butter was just as gross. It stayed oily. Somehow the peanut butter got oilier. I got peanut butter in my hair because I tried to do what you said. Or whatever, you know. But like I said, your results may vary. But it's always worked for me. Cola tea. We are talking about peanut butter. I mean, yes, tangentially, we are on the topic of peanuts. Specifically, we are on the topic of peanut butter. And even more specifically, I was trying to tell folks that oily peanut butter is a pain in the arse, but it can be fixed by storing the peanut butter jar upside down. After you get the oil all mixed in, you know, close the jar tight, close. I don't know if I mentioned this, and I feel like I should. You need to close the jar real tight before you turn it upside down. But then the oils will stay all mixed and it won't be oily on the top anymore. And there you go. Kenny from the Cove, chunky, creamy, I didn't used to care. Peanut butter's peanut butter. Then you got a lower partial that totally offed you off the chunky peanut butter wagon. Oh, dude, I bet. Oh, I'm just imagining getting a piece of chunky peanut butter caught under in a wrong. I'm getting uncomfortable just imagining it. No wonder you're off of the chunk. Totally. And by the way, Picola T, happy Easter to you too. And Picola T, you're a physics dummy. Why doesn't the oil rise to the top again once you flip the jar over? Well, because it... Okay, so Gina is warning us all again. Words are hard, and we are about to go into the topic that only Einstein could understand the way I described it. So, Picola T, all right, you know, you've got your lid, you got your jar, and you've got the oily part at the top. You stir up the oily part, so now the oil is distributed, right? Okay, so turn the jar over, and you're right, the oil will go back to the top. Only at this point, the top is the bottom, man. the top is the bottom. So the oil is like floating to the bottom, dude. Because the jar is upside down. It's floating to the bottom, which is normally impossible. You sink to the bottom, you float to the top. But when the bottom's at the top, you float to the bottom. And then, when you want your peanut butters, you turn it right back over, and any oil that might have made its way to the bottom just sort of gets re-squished back into the peanut butter that falls into the bottom of the jar. Exactly, Bukolati. Whoa, the up is the down. Exactly, man. It's like we're through the looking glass here, dude. Yes, exactly, Darlene. And that's what evenly distributes makes into the peanut butter. Yeah, and then once you get a couple knifelfuls out that you put on your toast or whatever, then, you can give it a little easy peasy stir every once in a while if you want. But you don't really need to. Rick, okay, if you mute the sound, could you guess in a million years that Matt Statter is talking about mixing peanut butter? I have no idea, but you know what, Rick? We might have to sync this up and mute the sound, but then start the dark side of the moon right at the end of the third burp, and we'll see if it links up, man. See if it links up. For those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, apparently the Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz link up after the third lion's roar of the Wizard of Oz. You're supposed to start the Dark Side of the Moon, and apparently the music and the visuals go perfectly together. I've never done this. It might be an urban legend, but I've heard it so many times that I can't help but think that there might be truth to it. And let's see here. Elaine, the first time you got natural peanut butter, you poured out the oils on the top because you don't digest oils well. Well, the butter got harder to scoop out the more you ate it. The bottom was too hard, no oils. Exactly. That is exactly what happens. And so that's why the act of, like, every time you take out your peanut butter jar and then you have to turn it back over to open it, and then you turn it back over, it keeps the oils a little bit distributed, right? But yeah, I can totally see why you would just be like, screw that, dude. We're gonna just pour that oil off. And Rick, no, I don't think it's an Easter film tradition. It might be in some houses. And did I ever work for Warner Brothers? No, never. But okay, cool. So Barmac, you wanna maybe tomorrow you're gonna give this little baby a whirl? And okay, so Kenny totally knows what I'm talking about. I'm not making things up. It actually works. You did it with a vinyl album and a VHS copy of the movie. And Rick coming in with Dark Side of the Wizard on YouTube, already out there. Awesome. There we go. So, like I said, I've never done this, but I did hear about it. And so, for some reason, I went on that trip. Yeah, the peanut butter story, man. It's got me tripping. So there you have it, you guys. So if you want to maybe start a new Easter tradition, it sounds like it's all hooked up on YouTube. Check out the Dark Side of the Wizard, and they've already synced it up, man. And Darlene, Pakalolo, not yet today. And the reason why not yet today is twofold. First off, I was doing taxes before I was doing this. And second off, I tried to do that once before a chat show. In fact, it was one of these chat shows, because it's the only chat show I've ever had. And yeah, that was a bad idea. Never again. I don't remember what show it was, so I'm not gonna refer back to you should check out March 31st, 1974, man. I did it when I was stoned, and it's just the worst episode ever. But yeah, no. no Pacololo yet today. And let's see here, Picola T. Few things so sad as spreading hard peanut butter on toast and watching the toast smoosh flat while the spread balls up. Food physics, dude. Yep, totally. Yeah, and Picola T, I feel that way not just with the peanut butter, but with like cold butter as well. You know, it's just like there's just melted butter on a crispy piece of fluffy, crispy toast. It's just wonderful. And then, you know, you squish the toast. The cold butter cools the toast. The cool toast doesn't melt the hard butter. And so then you're just left with a bunch of tough crumbs with cold butter that's not even, it's just in one chunk of the bread because it didn't spread, and it's just, it makes me sad. Exactly, Picola T, cold butter blobs on bread. It's criminal. Oh, but hey, Picola T, so check this out. Actually, all y'all who live in warm climates, check this out. So, in the Pacific Northwest, believe it or not, you guys, in the Pacific Northwest, it stays cold enough most of the year that we just keep our salted butter out on the counter. And it gets room temperature, soft enough to spread pretty easily, but not so soft that it goes rancid and bad really quick. Well, for those of you who live in warmer climes who don't have that luxury, you know, you got to keep your butter in the fridge. And that creates exactly the type of criminal act that eMusic and Picola T and I are complaining about. Well, check this out. Apparently, they make a butter knife, or it looks like a butter knife. Well, it is a butter knife, I guess. But instead of the blade being, you know, what a butter knife blade is, it's actually a whole bunch of little tiny holes. You know, like maybe toothpick size holes, toothpick diameter holes. And so you can scrape on top of the butter, and the butter comes out in like these little noodles that melt really quick and spread really easy. So it makes hard, cold butter. It has more surface area, so it melts quicker and it spreads easier. And then Picola T. Picola T knows exactly, yeah, I knew that Picola T knew about this life hack that the Northwesterners use, which is keeping your butter on the counter. And then, like every Pacific Northwesterner who leaves the Pacific Northwest, you get to unlearn that trait the hard way, because your butter just sits there and melts immediately. And Terry in Scotland, I need a blackboard for these explanations. I do. I wish I had a picture of the butter knife in question. We might have to revisit this topic on Wednesday with, I'll have a graphic of the butter knife that I'm talking about in question. And let's see here. And Picola T, you tried the butter bell, but it's still too warm for that. Yeah, no, there comes a point where it's just like you have to keep it back in the fridge. And so it is what it is. And Marmac, yeah, the butter bell, the butter bells are good here in the Pacific Northwest because, especially if you like to keep unsalted butter on your countertop, because unsalted butter seems to go bad way faster than salted butter. Even in the cooler Pacific Northwest climes. And so the butter bell is a really good plan. And by the way, I don't know if you guys even know what the flying fork a butter bell is. What a butter bell is it's a two-part contraption. One of the parts is basically a bowl. It's a bowl of water. And the other part, which is sort of the lid, and it looks like a bell, is where you put the butter. And so you put the butter in the bell, you stuff it in there, and then you put the bell in the bowl of water, so it creates an airtight situation so there's no oxidization of the butter in the butter bell. And exactly, Picola T, butter bell, not to be confused with butter ball, because when we're confusing it with the butter ball, that means we're going to have some incoming turkeys. And so, yeah, we've got turkeys that way. But let's see. So, Yeah, Darlene, no, exactly. In the warmer, in July and August, early September, even in the Pacific Northwest, you cannot leave it out. I'm not at all surprised that you have the same situation. But you know, people like who live in Texas, who live in Florida, who live in Hawaii, it's all year round. They gotta put their poor butter in the refrigerators. And E-Music, where's my whiteboard? Oh my. I have a collection of whiteboards of so many different sizes, E-Music, you don't even know. As a former roller derby official, whiteboards were of paramount importance to running a successful game. And yeah, how big of a whiteboard do you need? How small of a whiteboard do you need? How many of them do you need? Because I'm looking at a pile of them right over there. And Terry in Scotland, are you talking about the Butterbell? So yeah, you've got the all right, let's see if I can get a better visual here. Okay. For sake of argument, assume this is an actual bowl that has the sides of the bowl go up a little bit further, right? Okay, in this bowl, you put water. Now assume this is the Butterbell. This is the open bottom part of the Butterbell, and you shove all your butter in here. And then, yeah, cold water, Darlene. And then, so this is your bowl full of water. This is your bell full of butter. And the butter is all shoved down here. And so you go, whoop. And so the butter is stuck up here in the bell. And it's in a thing of water, so no oxidization happens. And if the level of water is so high that the water touches your butter, it's really not that big of a deal because butter is kind of waterproof, and you can just shake the water off or dab the water off. Or trust me, the water's not going to hurt your butter. Now you want to change out the water every day. But that is what a Butterbell is. My boss uses it for her unsalted butter that she keeps on the counter. Personally, I think they're kind of a pain in the arse. That being said, people who use them love them. I mean, love them. And Carl in Arkansas, I'm going to need some ibuprofen after this stream. I know, right? I'll have to distribute oh, my head is spinning between the peanut butter physics and then the Butterbell. I'm going to need, a handful of those. I'm going to need a handful of those pills. And it's, definitely not rocket science. And Picola tea, it's funny you should say that because there's a roller derby player whose derby name is Snot. Like snot rocket, you know what a snot rocket is? When you blow your nose or you do one, you close one nostril and blow out the other, the snot rocket. Her derby name is Snot Rocket Science. And I always loved that derby name. I thought it was so, so hysterical. And yeah, I know it is gross, Picola tea, but Snot Rocket Science, I think is just, I thought it was very witty. And hey, Kayla, so good to see you. Happy Easter. And let's see here. Katie from the Cove, butter shoving. As soon as you come up with something, you're definitely going to run the wrong way with that. Fair enough. I did hand it to you on a plate, in a bowl, in a bell. That's right. On a train with a well. Okay, you guys. This has been one goofy stream, and I'm so happy we could all be here today to share in the utter stupidity. Because really, this was snot rocket science here today. That is for certain. So, so take the peanut butter tips as you will. Take the regular butter tips as you will. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a happy Easter. And, Kenny from the Cove, It's not rocket science. It's what fuels the over-the-counter cold remedy industry. That is exactly it. So I want to thank everybody who gifted subs today, who resubbed their sub today, anybody who threw down some biddies, everybody who is here, especially the new faces in the chat. So happy we could hang out. It is the bottom of the hour, which means we are going to be closing shop pretty soon. But Monday is tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys all at Daily Pigeon Live Podcast with Andy Bumatai and James Monet. And if we don't see each other then, we will for sure, okay, maybe we won't, but maybe we will, see each other on Wednesday, 4 p.m. West Coast time. Remember, Wednesday's the weird day. 4 p.m. West Coast time, another Chatter with Statter. And Rick and Darlene, that's right. I don't know when we will be seeing you next on the chat either, because they will be off living all of our dreams for us, and I am so happy for them. Looking forward to anything they might want to share. However, Rick, I'm talking to you. You can mod if you want to, but I'm going to be pissed if you do. If you got nothing else going on, and you feel the urge, then by all means wield the sword. But frankly, I would like to not see that sword in your hand for about a month now, okay? You are on vacation, and we want to hear all about the best vacation ever. You can double hand your sword right now. You can juggle your sword all you want right now, baby doll. But come Wednesday, and for the next month after that, there are others here who have sword powers, and I would rather them use it than you have your sword taken away by the TSA. Don't go taking your sword on vacation, friend. Don't go taking your sword. All right, and that is my instruction for Rick. That's right, I'm going to boss him around. Okay then. Now that I'm done bossing around, I will see you guys in a couple days. Take care. Love you lots.